Hello everyone, it's D to the B here, and I have an interesting review for you today. So, I remember, I think it was like a month or two ago, I had met up with some friends at first, and we were talking about some Transformers stuff, and one of them reminded me of the Transformers anime series, or Japan series, that I completely forgot about called Transformers Wild King. And I found it so interesting that I forgot about it because I remember seeing sort of a dub for it quite a bit ago, a couple months before this conversation. And I thought it was the full episode originally because it was a while since I saw it, but then I found out it was a teaser. Then, after looking it up, I decided, it would be something interesting to try, especially since I have not been a fan, as you can tell by my channel if you just scroll through my videos, I've not been appealed with Cyberworld and think it's overrated garbage. So I wanted to see if Japan could do a better job with the show this year. I asked my audience if they wanted to see me review Wild King. Everyone voted yes. And I decided to finally check it out for myself. And it was good. The first 5 episodes were dubbed by a YouTuber named Imp Studios. Were pretty good. I enjoyed it. I had a fun time with it. Enough. I actually got to talk to this guy. He reached out to me. He saw my post. And me, him, and a business partner of mine decided to go on Discord and chat. I found out a lot of interesting things came to this. First of all, apparently Japan also did a YouTube miniseries. Yes, Wild King was a YouTube miniseries just like how Cyberworld is a series in the US. It was so interesting to hear both countries were doing their own series for YouTube. It was interesting and a little bit funny. Like, unbelievably funny. I don't expect this to be like a serious anime. It's definitely a good chuckle, or at least this dub is. What it sounded like when we talked, sounded like he followed it also did his own line deliveries as well with the show. So I'm only reviewing the dub, so take it with a grain of salt. The dub might not be entirely accurate, but for what it is, it's hilarious. I'm even glad that I got to talk to the guy who made the dub. It was something that I never expected to happen, but it did. So why don't we get into the dub's plot? Now, there are only 5 episodes that were dubbed by him, so I unfortunately can't talk about the whole series. I just have to talk about the 5. But I'm going to review them all together because they are a cohesive plot for the most part. So why don't I explain how the show starts? So the show starts with Optimus' ship exploring through the stars looking for Megatron. He's trying to call Megatron to get more info on something that him and Megatron talked about. So Optimus said that he's going to land on this mysterious planet, Element Loss. Now I have an editor's note by the person who did the dub. So apparently, according to him, he actually got the name wrong of the planet. So what I just said is not the official name of the planet. The actual name of the planet in the show, and this is officially been translated correctly, Elmatros. Here's a picture of what the planet is called, just in case if I even pronounced it wrong. I figure I throw that in there. But we continue on where Optimus has landed on the planet and he's still looking for Megatron. He's like, Megatron said this planet was full of energy. And we get a flashback of the two chatting, and Megatron explains that the planet is full of something called element energy.
It's called elemental energy. It comprises of fire, water, earth, nature, and thunder energy. These are the powers the planet has given its life forms. The power of the elements. If we had it, we'd become stronger.
Alright, so there are all the elements on the planet. So there's a couple nitpicks here that I would have. Some of the elements don't make any sense. Personally, granted, it's not the first time that a franchise has made up elements or made things elements that isn't really an element. For me, I have two of those franchises where they decided to make things that aren't an element an element. For me, it's Skylanders and Ninjago. Like, Skylanders, there's stuff like the tech element, which is not an element at all, but they made it an element anyway, so meh. Or there's Ninjago, which has more things that aren't elements, like electricity, ice, speed, metal. So yeah, having things being elements but not in reality is nothing new, these type of stories. And then also, a small little nitpick, and this is something I had a problem with the series, but then when hearing the guy talk about it, he made me appreciate it a bit more. Originally, I'm like, okay, I don't like how they're not animating the mouths, the original Japan animation, because it doesn't feel natural, but the dub guy explains that it worked for him because he got to make up whatever dialogue he wanted and have some fun with it, and also staying true to an extent to the original dub. So yeah, this dub is not completely accurate in some areas. I don't know how far he differed away. There's probably some more context that I'm not aware of or I forgot about when I talked to him. But yeah, if you're expecting a one-on-one dub, yeah, you're gonna be a tad bit disappointed. But another nitpick I do have, the main nitpick, and this is coming from a hardcore Transformers fan, and it's the fact that Megatron and Optimus are friends. I am not used to this. Like, it's weird to see these two being friends, especially since Megatron still has the Decepticon symbol. It's so weird. Like, I know they're friends in continuities, but not when they're Optimus and Megatron. It's a bit different. I mean, I guess it's not that big of a deal. It's a little weird for me. And I will admit it. But I'll probably get used to it. It's a small nitpick. It doesn't hurt the show. I still enjoy it. Or at least this dub, I enjoyed it quite a bit. So then, after a flashback of Optimus and Megatron, Optimus decides to transform and drive around the forest, where then we get to meet our first new major character, this random giraffe just following him. And the giraffe is going like, ride, ride, ride. But then the giraffe kicks a rock accidentally into a tree, and it hits Optimus, but then the giraffe, he bumps into a tree, knocking it over or breaking the tree. And then Optimus does a transformation, which it kind of gives me the Energon and Cybertron vibes of transformation, which I don't mind that. I think that's pretty cool that we get transformations like this again. And then we got a bit of a questionable thing here, like, especially if you look at the scene. We have Optimus transform after his Japan-inspired transformation, grabbing the tree that the giraffe broke, and then using the tree to try to kill the giraffe. Like, what? That is not what Optimus would do. He would not do this, ever. But then the giraffe is like, transform, transform. So yeah, there's another thing, which you probably all saw coming, but I wanted to play along. Like, nothing was gonna happen, but yeah, the giraffe is a transformer. And what is this giraffe's name? Longlight. And he, of course, when he first transforms, he's like, sorry to Optimus, and Optimus wonders who he is. He tells him his name and says he's an energy beast, which are the beings that contain the elements that Megatron was talking about. Then we get this scene, which is actually kind of funny.
Energy beast?
Wait a second, did you just transform from an awesome truck to a robot?
Yes.
Whoa! Can you turn back into a truck and take me for a ride?
No, you're too big.
Aw, man.
And then, after Optimus notices the elemental energy, Optimus says that he's on the planet looking for his friend. And Longlight is like, you're from another planet. But then, before Optimus could even completely answer, he is under attack. And who's he under attack by? None other than Megatron combined with the enemy of the planet, of this planet, Captain Volca. And Optimus saves Longlight, and then after he does that, they discover the two are working together. Then we transition to the characters fighting each other, where we get to see Megatron's design, and it's an interesting design. Something I noticed when I watched the show, I'm like, okay, this design was inspired by 3 separate Megatron designs. First was G1 Megatron, obviously. Then we got his attachment, Captain Vulcan, I'm pretty sure. His transformation reminds me of the arm from Beast Wars Megatron. It's even on the same side, too. And then we got horns on Megatron similar to Armada. And I thought it was pretty cool to see all 3 of these aspects combined into a Megatron. I think it was pretty cool. So, of course, as I said, the characters begin to fight. But, of course, Optimus is like, Megatron, what are you doing? Why are you attacking us? Because we're friends. And Megatron's like, not anymore. And they begin to fight each other throughout the forest. Optimus gets to the conclusion that the power on the planet has turned Megatron evil. And Megatron explains,
This is the strength of the elemental energy.
Longlight comes in and re-explains who Megatron is with, and reveals that he's a part of the dinosaur tribe. And Optimus is confused, and Longlight explains on the planet there are 2 different tribes, the animal and dinosaur tribe, which is stupid. What? And this is not the guy's fault. This is not the dubber's fault. Or at least that I'm aware of. But so dumb. Wait, dinosaurs are animals too? What do you mean? They're reptiles. Anyway, so it's weird, but I'm going to give the show some credit here. Actually, I'm going to give it a bunch of credit. So first credit I'll give it actually explains how this world works. Like, it's vague enough. Like, we already got 2 pieces of the lore so far of this universe. That there's element energy, which is the power-up, and then also the 2 tribes, the animal tribe and the dinosaur tribe. This is more lore that Cyberworld has ever given us, which is something I want. If you're going to introduce a fantasy world or a whole new universe that's different from other universes, I want you to explain how the world works and what things or culture is a part of said world. As I said, something that Cyberworld failed to do and gets a D+. And another detail I forgot to mention that's also established lore of this universe, that the dinosaur tribe is forbidden to cross the animal tribe's land, and wonders why Captain Volca is here. And he says that the war between our tribes will be over. So, of course, then another guy appears in the scene, and he's like, "That's right!" I'm not even kidding, that's the voice that the guy gave him. Imp Studios gave this guy this voice. I don't know who does this guy right here, who's called Leafback. Like, he made Leafback sound.
That's right! Lord Megatron will lead the dinosaur tribe and become the pinnacle of this planet.
It's so funny. But then, of course, Longlight says that
If I'm right, you're the hero from the sky. Which means we can combine into the Wild King.
Wild King?
Yes, the power of camaraderie, we can do it!
and the 2 decide to combine together and fight Megatron. And Megatron could not stand the power that Optimus now has, being the supposed Wild King. And we get this funny line from Longlight.
I lost that! Our attacks are super explosive, so even if you block, you'll still feel the full impact.
It's so stupid. I love it. Then Longlight explains if the prophecy is true. And what is set prophecy? Well, let Longlight explain it for me. And yes, more lore!
This is wild dogging.
Yeah, it's my first time and it's going great. The legend might actually be true.
Legend.
Yes. One day, a hero from the sky will be given the power of the 5 elements and wield the strongest blade to strike down all evil. It's a legend on our planet, and I believe it's you, Optimus. You're the hero.
A blade.
Get to learn more about this planet and how it works, and I love it. Megatron and Captain Vulcan are, or Falcon is more like, I'm sorry I couldn't stand the power, and Megatron's like, you still have more power than he does. And then also tells Leafback to come and help him. So Leafback also combines to Megatron, giving Megatron more power, so then they have a greater shot to take down Optimus and Longlight. With the power Megatron now has, a big burst of energy comes towards the two. Longlight's like transform, but then it appears that Megatron has killed both Longlight and Optimus Prime. Nah, just kidding. Next episode we find out they're still alive. We have 2 more episodes to go. Of course we can't kill them, or at least for the dub. Apparently there's like 13 or 14 episodes available in Japan, and apparently the show is still going. But let's continue on. So we transition to episode 4. Where Optimus and Longlight are walking towards a cave, and Optimus says that Longlight thought smart at how they got out. But they are walking to a cave when Optimus said that. And then we meet another new character, Hydrophant. No, I'm not kidding. That's his actual name. I'm not even kidding. So, of course, Longlight introduced Hydrophant to Optimus to Hydrophant. Optimus then introduces himself to Hydrophant after Longlight says that him and Hydrophant are friends. And then Longlight tells Hydrophant that he could be the one from the prophecy. And Hydrophant is just getting excited and spinning around the two. And Longlight tells him to calm down. So they go into the cave to discuss more about the planet. Longlight asks if Hydrophant has seen another friend of theirs named Jurhorn, which Hydrophant says no. And then also Longlight explains that their conflict is with the dinosaur tribe. And Optimus goes even further, saying, because of Megatron, we are in battle with the dinosaur tribe. Which Hydrophant's like, who's Megatron? And he starts getting scared, starts stomping all over, and starts panicking. And Longlight says to not do that because he gets scared pretty easily. Which then Hydrophant runs out of the cave, and Optimus and Longlight have to follow him to calm him down because of the panic of the dinosaur tribe going into battle with the animal tribe. The two follow him outside, and Hydrophant's still saying, I'm too scared to fight. A tree then falls over, and both the characters transform into... Optimus changes into his truck form, and then Longlight transforms into his giraffe mode. And they manage to lose Hydrophant. And we transition to Hydrophant, who's still scared and running out of control, and bumps into a new character of the show named Spidin. And Spidin tells him to stop, and Hydrophant doesn't listen, so he makes the comment, I will make you stop. First, he summons a rock because he's a controller of the Earth. He has the earth element, and then he decides to strike him, and he said, I will make you regret crossing my path. But then Longlight and Optimus Prime arrive just in time to save Hydrophant. Optimus checks if Hydrophant is okay, and Then we get this moment right here between the two, and it's generally nice to have Optimus act the way he's supposed to be.
Okay.
Optimus! Man, fighting is worse than I thought.
Well, everyone's afraid of fighting, but sometimes you have to stand up and fight for what's important to you.
Something important to me?
I could just imagine Wild King Optimus going to Cyberworld. Optimus, hold my beer. He actually feels like the character, not the dimwit he is in Cyberworld. I like it. And also, this show proved me wrong that you couldn't have a structured story that lasts for 5 minutes. It proved me wrong. Apparently you can do 5-minute episodes and have a structured story. I was wrong. Which just makes me question Cyberworld even more, now knowing this information. Enough about that tangent. Optimus says, "Who are you?" And then the guy just says, "I said something sinister about you." Which I don't think that was in the original. I think this was just an instance of saying whatever you want. The guy who made the dub wanted to say whatever he wanted. He manages to overpower Optimus. Longlight tries to help Optimus, but then new character comes in, and Longlight's like, "Ignite Leo, why are you working with the dinosaur tribe?" And then that's how episode 4 ends. And now to episode 5, the last episode of this dub. Ignite Leo asks if Optimus is the hero, and Optimus gets confused. And Ignite Leo is like, "Let's have a fair fight." And just looking at this fight, this is not a fair fight. What? This is not fair. He's just hopping location to location. He's moving too fast for Optimus. Longlight says to stop fighting him, but of course Longlight gets knocked over. Longlight that Optimus isn't the enemy, but of course Ignite Leo does not listen. And Longlight decides to combine with Optimus and use the Longlight power to try to take out Ignite Leo. But of course, it gets blocked by the Earth powers of Spittin. With the advantage that Spittin gave Ignite Leo takes action. And then Hydrophant is like, "Optimus, Longlight." And as Ignite Leo tries to attack them, Hydrophant decides to be brave and protect the two of them. So he transforms to face off Ignite Leo. But then the linking power lights up, and Hydrophant, Optimus, and Longlight decide to combine together, making Optimus even stronger and closer to the Wild King prophecy. The power of Hydrophant, Optimus manages to defeat Ignite Leo, and Longlight makes the same remark that the other side did earlier, and Longlight and Leo talk, and Longlight's like, "Why were you attacking us?" And Ignite Leo says he wanted to test the new hero and to protect the artifact known as the Elemental Shield. Which we get a flashback of Megatron mentioning the Elemental Shield. And Optimus asks, "What is the Elemental Shield?"
Shield.
It is a wall that has existed for a long time. Beyond it is something that the dinosaur tribe believes will give them even more. But I sense something evil from it.
There's something behind the wall that will possibly give the dinosaur tribe even more power than they could possibly imagine. So we learn that it's some sort of mystical power that needs to be kept away from Megatron and the dinosaur tribe. Then something happened. A weird purple beam comes out of the sky and has some sort of control over the character known as Spinodon. Says that something's in his head, and he just launches into the sky. And then it transitions to Megatron, preparing to get his ultimate plan to action. And that is how the dub ends. For now. So yeah, these first episodes were kind of crazy. I really did personally enjoy this show for what it was, or the dub adaptation. As I said, it's not completely accurate, but hey, I'm okay with considering this fan dub as the official version of this show. It is so unbelievably good. A lot of time and effort went into this dub, and I love it. I love the story. I like the characters. It is so good. And it's different and new. That's the perfect thing about it. It's not a bad show. I had a great time watching it. And I definitely can't wait for the next couple episodes. I don't know when more will be in the works by Imp Studios, but once more comes out, I will definitely review this show again. But with that out of the way, even though I really enjoyed this show, always end my videos, always criticize and rise.